I'm Dave Hertz, owner of Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment, and I'm here to talk about our 2014 835 Lugong wheel loader. It's a 2.5 yard loader. That's the standard bucket that comes on it. It's a general purpose bucket with a bolt-on cutting edge, and it is also a reversible cutting edge. This model I ordered with the quick coupler. You can either get it with a pin-on bucket or a quick coupler, and our quick couplers are compatible. They call them the Euro style, but they are compatible with the Volvo style loaders. Your quick coupler also has a third valve function on it, so you can take and either run the quick coupler from inside the cab to unhook the bucket and grab different attachments, or you can flip a lever on this box and it will run a grapple fork or third-party hydraulic attachment if you want to run that. This is the Z-bar configuration, which gives you one single tilt cylinder, and there's 5 grease points on that. It's our most economical type of linkage to the bucket. They also make what they call a tool carrier, and that comes standard with the quick coupler, but then you have 2 hydraulic cylinders that tilt the bucket, and there's some more pins and bushings and that type of thing that go with that system, so that's a little bit more expensive. As far as the tires on the machine, they run the double coin steel belted radials. They're the 20.5/25 tire size, all radials. They run the ZF axles under them, and they're a limited slip axle, so all 4 wheels will pull, and it's all automatic. You don't have to push any buttons to lock anything in. It's limited slip, so you will get all 4 wheels. And with this traction on this machine, with this diamond type pattern, it's a very good general purpose tire. Got a good snow traction, good mud traction, good tire wear on it too. We've had real good luck with that. We'll move back. This is another option that this machine comes with. It's an auto greasing feature. You can fill this full of grease, and it greases the whole machine. There's hoses running to all the grease zerks except for the drive line, so you have to grease the U-joints. But you just make sure this is full, and this is on a timer, and it'll grease the machine. I think it sets up for like 10 minutes every hour. It gives it grease, and it's all proportional grease, so that the bigger pins get more grease than the smaller pins. Work our way back. This compartment houses some accumulators. There's accumulators for the brake system, also accumulators for the ride control. These machines all come with ride control. What ride control is the lift cylinders that lift the bucket. When you put it in ride control mode, it acts as a shock absorber to take the shock out of that. So you don't lose materials out of the bucket, or if you're roading it down the road, you don't get the crow hop in a loader at full road speed. We'll kind of work our way to the back. This machine also, we put rear fenders on it. You take those out, they'll slide out so you can get at the cab or the engine hood. There's a battery disconnect right in here, so you can shut the disconnect off so that there's no electricity going to anything if you want. We also put a plug-in on them. We put a block heater on these machines. And they also have a hydraulic fan, and that's a reversible fan. So if you're in real dirty applications, you can take and manually push a button inside the cab, and it'll run the fan backwards and blow the radiator out backwards. Now we'll walk around on the other side of the machine. On this side, we have our hydraulic filter, or hydraulic oil tanks right here. This is your cab filter, easy to get at. You can take that off and clean that filter. So if you notice your air conditioning doesn't work as well because you're not getting enough airflow, 99% of the time it's because your cab filters are plugged, and they make it very easy to get at that. But again, we got the fenders on this side. Take and pull those out. And on our engine hood, we can raise our engine hood right in here. There's an electric switch down in here. our hood goes all the way up on these machines for very easy access. So I'll raise the hood all the way up. This is your transmission filter. You can get your filter very easily right here. This is your primary fuel filter. And you also have a little priming pump here. So if you happen to gel the machine up, you can pull this off, prime it, put a new fuel filter here. This is your secondary fuel filter. So those are your two main filters that you have for the fuel system on this side. Right there is the air cleaner. You can pull that out, get at your air cleaner. You can check your oil right here and add oil, and you don't even need to lift the hood to do that. You can do that through this door right here on the side of the engine hood. So everything's very accessible to get at. Kind of walk around the back side here. This is your compartment right here that you can that has your switch to get at to raise the hood, and then this is your fuel fill. You can fill your fuel right here. That's the cap for that. And in the back, you can just hit pop. On this side of the engine, this is our battery disconnect right here. You can see it a little better with the hood up. And our plug-in for our engine block heater. Here's your hoses that go to the engine, or the hoses that go to the heater core for your engine heater, and you can shut those off in the summertime so you're not running hot water through your heater, so that your air conditioner is going to work better. And then this is a little electric motor that runs that hydraulic pump, so that you would still have hydraulics if your engine gels up on you or shuts down for some reason. You can turn that electric motor on and steer the machine and raise and lower the bucket, so you could tow the machine if you needed to. Your alternators right here, and this is your engine oil filter. And these are a Tier 3 engine, so there's no need for DEF fluid or a regeneration process. We'll be able to get by with that probably till 2015. Blue Gong bought a ton of Cummins engines, and they bought enough of them that until they're out of them, they don't have to go to Tier 4. So they can go from Tier 3 to Tier 4 final without any of those interim engines. And they all run the Cummins 6.7 engine. It's a 6-cylinder engine, and that is ran in 3 or 4 of our wheel loaders because it can go from 130 horse to 285 horse. They just do some programming and a few internal things on the higher horsepower engines, but that allows us to use the same engine in multiple machines. Oh, another thing, we'll shoot this up here. This machine has a Turbo 2 air cleaner on it, which is a very good air cleaner, pre-cleaner. Another thing, and I'll edit this too. Another thing is we have tie down areas right here that you can tie the machine down, chain it down there. There's also a big tie down back here for chaining down, and there's 2 of them on the front of the machine too. So they're very easy to chain up and haul down the road. This is the rear compartment of the engine hood where our radiator is at. Pull this out and get at this is your air conditioning condenser, your oil coolers, transmission coolers, all that are back here. And it also folds out so you can get behind there to blow the radiator out. Nice feature. Alright, I just kind of want to go over some of the cab features on our 2014 800 series wheel loaders. Our 835 through 888 cabs are pretty much all the same, same size, the same layout on it. So we're just going to go on this new 14 835 cab. But this unit has auto greasing on it over there, so the entire unit's auto grease. The only thing you grease is the drive line and it's on a timer, but if you want to add some extra grease, that's what this button does. It turns that auto greaser on. This is your rear defroster. Here's your rear window washing fluid, your rear window wiper. This is a beacon on the top of the cab, and here is your transmission disconnect. So in one mode, when you step on the brake, it'll disengage the transmission and apply the brake. The other mode, the the transmission stays engaged, but you can still apply the brake. Here's your shifting lever. You can shift the machine here, or you can shift the machine right here. And the way that works is if you put it in second gear here and it's in neutral, you can go second gear, forward and reverse right here. So let's say you're going into a real hard pile of dirt and you want first gear, put it there, you're in second, and then you can pull the trigger right here. It'll kick it down into first, and your indicator's right there. It'll kick it down into first, and then when you back up, you're automatically back in second gear. Now if you want to stay in third gear, you just twist it to third gear or fourth gear. Now there's also an auto or manual switch, so if you put it in auto, it'll shift second through third automatically, upshift and downshift. If you put it in manual, it'll stay in whatever gear that you've selected over here on the column. So that's kind of how the shifting works. In the middle here you have a diagnostic switch that'll give you fault codes on the engine. You can set your engine idle up or down. Your lights and hazards are all right here. This is a button that this machine does have a backup steering on it. So it's an electric motor that runs the hydraulic pump, so you can still lift the bucket and steer the machine if the engine is dead. This mutes any codes as far as beeping noises go. And then your dash, basically you have your tic-tac and your fuel gauge, your oil, transmission oil temperature, and your water temperature of the engine, and then your different warning lights over here, and your hour meter, and then that is your transmission, what gear it's in. And then on this side, your joysticks, all pilot control, and this runs your third valve, your park brake, and then your heating and air conditioning, your fan. This right here is what I can hook the computer to check the engine, and then your auto manual, and then your reversible fan. It does have a hydraulic reversible fan, so you can run that backwards. And then for your ride control, you can put it in manual, which it's on all the time. This would be off, or this would be auto. So in auto, if you go over 5 miles an hour, then the bucket will float up and down. The lift cylinders act as shock absorbers. So if you're roading it down the road, it takes all the bounce out of the machine. And you also have a radio up here, and then there are some window shades that you can pull down, rear view mirror, and a window shade in the back too. And your seat, this particular one has a Grammer seat in it with air ride Grammer seat, and then your fuse box is right in that panel. You can pull that out and get at all your fuses, and they actually are lit up. If there is a fuse out, there's a red light that comes and lights up next to the fuse. Another feature is this door on this side opens all the way up. A lot of loaders do not have a door on that side of the machine, so you get plenty of airflow in here if you don't want to run the air conditioner and just leave the doors open in the summertime. As you can see, you have good visibility. Those windows go all the way down to the floor of the cab.